Hi
guys.
welcome back to Girls and
Guys.
Gossip Podcast hosted by yours truly, Aoife.
And Josh.
Let's get it started. I thought we would return to our familiar haunt and go with anonymous confessions, as I know quite a few people quite enjoyed this one last time, and I think we quite enjoyed it too. So, shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So, I've got my first confession is I accidentally got with two friends in the same week on a girls' holiday, and I genuinely had no clue that they knew each other. The first one was a rep from another hotel, and we kissed on a night out and exchanged Instagrams. 2 nights later, me and my friends met another group of lads at a beach club and ended up going home with one of them. The next morning, I woke up to the first guy posting a story of them all pre-drinking together, and the second guy was literally sat next to him. And then I nearly threw my phone across the room. The second guy messaged me saying, "Small world, isn't it?" And I blocked both of them, deleted Instagram for a week, and told everyone I was focusing on myself, never want to go back to Magaluf again.
I was in that much of a shock. Rolling my phone. No, but of course it's Magaluf.
Oh no.
Shagger squirrel. Can I be completely honest?
I'd do the same thing.
I've been in that situation.
I'd be so embarrassed. You know what? On a holiday.
Also,
what exactly?
How would she know that they were friends?
Exactly, you're not going to know that, and it's not like they were in a marriage proposal situation.
Also, can I just say one thing? Not to be hating on men so early on in the air, but of course I'm going to do it. Men do that all the fucking time. A man would be so buzzing and brag about that if they slept with two girls in the same friendship group. So do you know what, Diva? I say go for it.
Yeah.
I say go for the third. Honestly.
Treat the men at their own game.
Also, what happens in Shaggy Scuff stays there. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, nothing wrong with holiday romance. No matter how many... We all like holiday romance. No one said you could put a limit on the number of holiday romances.
Exactly.
You know, some of us just like meeting people on holiday. What can I say?
You would know.
No, I have been, not on holiday, but I have been in that exact same scenario where I got with two people from the same friendship group, and quite frankly, never again.
So it's awkward, isn't it? You just don't really know what to...
Yeah, I feel that girl's frustration. That was that story about when them two started rowing in village over the situation. Stop fighting.
Stop it.
Stop fighting over me. Okay, what did we do last time? Didn't we say if it was
guilty or not guilty?
Guilty or not guilty. I was going to say slay or no, but that's so cringe. It's disgusting. Why not come to my head? Do you know what? I'm going to say not guilty.
I'm going to also say not guilty.
So I said, get it, girl. Honestly, what happens in Magaluf stays in Magaluf. Absolutely. Wow, on that note of I wouldn't say affairs, but sleeping with somebody that you feel like you shouldn't, I have one from my friend, and she knows who she is, and she is watching, so shout out to you. Okay, I had an affair with my co-worker, and now I think I've literally destroyed not only my relationship, but my life. The dramatic girl, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that message and I was like, girl, come on. You haven't. Anyway, right? So, when I was 22, I worked in an admin job for around 2 years at this point, until at the time I was dating my now ex at the time. We didn't break up, but the reason why I cheated on him is because he cheated on me, so I did it to get revenge on him. I was working at this company for about 2 years when she actually named the boy, which I don't think I should do.
No.
Don't think I should do.
We're not naming and shaming today.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the anonymous.
Yeah. I was like, I said anonymous, but okay. I'll allow it. A little bit of an added detail just for us, you know? Anyway, she put about 2 years into where I was working. The company that I worked for hired a new person to work within the team. They initially put me in training with him, and at first, everything was completely normal and fine. We had banter, everything was fine. At first, I just saw it as a friendly colleague that I got on with. He was 24 and I was 22 at the time. We got put on the same tasks, I had to train him, and we started to work very closely. One day, he admitted on a night out drunkenly that he thought that there was something there and that if I wasn't with my ex, we should explore it. However, at the time, I said no cheating on either side because he also had a girlfriend. when do they, because are we all shocked? I'm not falling off my seat in fucking shock. Anyway,
It's men for you.
you know what I mean? We barely then spoke about anything else other than the fact that maybe there was something there in and outside of work. I then one night had the impulse feeling to go up through my ex's phone and found out that he was sleeping with his now ex and got her pregnant. I'm so glad I saved my reaction for the part. And got her pregnant. She was 6 weeks pregnant when she messaged him, and I found out that wherever he was going, he was either going to our house and buying stuff on our joint credit card. When I would question him about things, he would say that it was just a night out, but realistically, babe, you're not going on a night out at Asda.
I mean,
Oh,
good.
Barnes Hill Asda is quite
Yeah.
active, right? Anyway, she put, I know I should have communicated this better with my partner at the time. However, I thought I'm not going to let it get this far again, and I'm actually going to play him at his own game. So, on a night out, things escalated with the guy that I worked with, and we ended up going back together until my ex decided to spam my phone that day. Little did I know that he had my location on his phone at all times. We checked into, oh God, the Premier Inn on Broad Street. Have some class, girl. Come on. Next to Dixie's. Oh,
I'm a Dixie pigeon.
oi, oi. Have you bit of rat after? He then started spamming my phone and found out later that evening that he did some stalking and found out that the boy that I had an affair with was also at the works night out. This wouldn't have been so bad if it didn't carry on into the work office. Oh my God. So, a couple of weeks after this happened, we were in the kitchen making drinks, and all of a sudden there was a cupboard that was off the office, which was cleaning supplies. He then said, "Oh, can you help me get out because I've done a spillage?" We've then gone into the room. He shut the door, and one thing led to another. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I can't read this next part because I think we might get shadowed. But to cut a very long story short, they slept together in this cupboard in the office. We then went back to our seats as if nothing had ever happened, except my hair was all ruffled up, as you would expect, and he was very much, you could tell that we'd done stuff. I then went and filmed it secretly with this guy's consent and sent it to my ex, told him that him and his baby can fuck off. But later on, turns out that they didn't have the baby after all. So who's the real loser here, me or him? Him?
Him.
1,000,000% him. Because, right, I'm not saying it takes two to tango, but technically it does take two to tango.
Exactly.
If he had the affair first, which he did by the sounds of things, right, and got a girl pregnant and was spending their money on their joint credit card at Asda, of all places, she has every right to do it. Do I agree with sleeping with someone in the work cupboard? Probably not. Probably not, babe. But you know what?
I'm gonna go not guilty.
Do you know what? You and me both. I honestly think not guilty because I think adds a bit of spruce to it. It sounds like something like 50 Shades novel. And
You've
do you
got
know
to get
what?
back at these men. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And at the end of the day, I'm not condoning cheating, but where would they go? You can't go to a hotel if he's got your location. You can't go back to his if he's got your location. So do it where he's like, oh, she's probably just working. Little does she know that she's getting ploughed in the work office. I respect that so much. I just want to message. I will be messaging asking.
You may as well get paid to do it.
Yeah,
Not locking up.
that sounds a bit prostitute. I'm
Yeah,
not
not
gonna
in that
lie,
type of way. But if you're clocked in, you may as well.
exactly. If it's on company time, absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm so down for it. One thing that I do want to know, and I'm going to message her and ask her about, is if the work like ever found out about it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know.
I'll let you know. You need to let me know because she definitely watches this as well, so I know.
So my next one is I once lied on my CV saying that I was fluent in Spanish because I thought it would help me get this really good office job. And I never thought they'd actually test me on it. I got through all the interviews and was buzzing because the pay was amazing. On my first day, my manager told me that they had a Spanish client visiting and asked if I could sit in and translate.
No.
Parts of the meeting, I genuinely felt my soul leave my body because the only Spanish I knew was from Duolingo and Dora the Explorer. I spent the whole meeting nodding and saying random words like hola and gracias. After that, they kept trying to involve me in international accounts, so I quit 2 weeks later and told everyone I left because it wasn't the right
Yeah.
fit.
Of course.
Oh, that's
Do you know
so
what?
funny.
That sounds like something out of like a Miranda scene.
You know what? That's so unfortunate.
No, honestly. That
You know
girl.
what? There's so many people out there, like, like when Debenhams closed, everyone's like, I'm gonna put that I worked at
Yeah,
Debenhams
yeah, or
because they can't
Wilco.
verify it. And I'm just like, it's like the one time you wouldn't want,
Yeah.
and then you literally get chucked
Yeah,
in at the
you can
deep
speak
end.
Spanish, can't you? Like, girl, of course I can.
Hola,
Yeah.
gracias.
Como te llamas? Like, I'd be getting Duolingo right in the bathroom. I'd be revising everything. That sounds like something out of like a sitcom. That is so funny. And do you know what? Not guilty.
No,
If you've got to lie on your CV to get a job and get the coin,
that's
absolutely.
dedication.
Do you know what I've noticed? If it's to do with a woman, we're obviously going to say not guilty,
Yeah.
as we should. Duh. My next one is my boyfriend ran off with a girl who knew that I am pregnant at this current moment. So basically, to cut long story short, the girl that love her, um, my friend, she's pregnant at the moment. So this is about her. So this girl knew that I'm pregnant and decided after all of this that my boyfriend at the time doesn't want to be in the baby's life anymore because my baby is an inconvenience to his new relationship. Update, I'm now 2 weeks away from birth. And now I'm going to be a uncle again soon. And now he's now blocked on everything after crying about me, saying his new come on, his bird will never be a stepmom and is a poor excuse of an emo. Right, so I know the story. So got a little bit of context behind this. His new missus is goth, and I'm talking like Evanescence bring me back to life. Goth, like punk, like she is. Go in here. You might this.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
Oh, like, hey. She is like, I'm talking like she liked metal music, which to me is just screaming. Like, there's this guy that I work with, and he's a punk. Like, he loves a bit of like
Heavy metal,
heavy
like driving
metal.
down the motorway.
Yeah, like he is honestly like to the point where this is really scary. And like he introduced me my ass, tried to introduce me to this band. They're called Kill Switch Engage, right? This is like a bit of a side note, but relates to this story. Um, and he was like, "Oh, do you reckon you'd like this?" I'm like, "I listen to Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. I don't think I'm gonna like this." Girl,
Guilty
all I'm
pleasure.
gonna say is look on their Spotify because some of the names of their songs are absolutely awful. And I like ironically went to my friend. I was like, does she listen to them? She looks like she'd listen to them. We went on her story. It was that song by that band as well. She's like a proper punk rocker, right? Do you know something like them? Was it Mr. Morrison Friday Night Dinner? Have you watched Friday
Yeah.
Night Dinner? Punk rockers. Anyway, sidetracking here. So basically, he was dating my friend, right? She got pregnant quite quick into their relationship, but they worked together. So they both work at KFC, right? And he basically was what obviously she can confirm or deny to me, but like from an outsider, he seemed quite on board with everything. Like he was ready for the baby. They found out that they were having a girl, so she's having a little baby girl in 2 weeks. And like he was very up for it. And then literally, I met up with her like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like the first time in a few weeks because busy, adult, and all that. And she was like, "Yeah, like he's left me. He's found a new girl. It's always the girl that you warned. Don't worry about her.
Yeah.
It was her." And everything. And now he's basically said he wants nothing to do with the baby. Inconvenience to his relationship. Disgusting. All of this. So, do you know what I am going to say? Guilty. Absolutely
Yes.
guilty. What a scumbag. And do you know what, as well? I wouldn't mind, but my friend is a gorgeous girl. And why is it always the ugly man? It's always the man that you
Always.
give. What is it that Billie Eilish once said? You give an ugly man a chance and he thinks he can run the world. Like, he honestly, she's such a stunning girl, and she gave this man a chance. She was doing community service with this boy.
She was doing God's work.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And he's basically ditched her. So, do you know what? Guilty.
What a dick.
So, in all fairness, me and her were discussing about posting dog shit for his letterbox, and quite frankly, I would do that again.
There's a website that does that.
Oh, we don't need to do it ourselves. Stunning.
There is a website that does. There's also one where they'll send like instant mashed potato and like sprinkle it all over the grass. So then when it rains.
Oh my god, you get mashed potato. I want to try
Not that I.
How do you know so much about this?
That's a story for another day.
Giving sus. But yeah, guilty.
Very guilty. My next one, speaking of pregnancy, actually, my next one's very, very similar. Well, not similar, but pregnant as well.
Yeah.
I was in an A-level exam and the questions were too hard, but I knew that. And I did really well on the other two papers, and this was my last one. I was pregnant at the time and I thought, fuck this, I actually can't fail because it's my last one. So I used my pregnancy as an excuse. I told an examiner that I'm having the most awful pains and that obviously I was pregnant, and I got taken out of the exam. It was so bad that I had to get AI to make me hospital documents to send to the exam board. Anyway, it worked out and they averaged me to an A, lol.
Clock it!
So smart. I would have done the same.
Quite frankly,
absolutely.
I love AI.
Yeah, I love ChatGPT. There is not one thing you can say a bad word about.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, do you know what? That is like another.
You deserve to pass that exam because that is so smart.
That's smarter than anything that's going to be in that test.
Exactly.
What was the exam for? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Doesn't matter.
There were A-level exams. You know what? I've noticed this. These days, the exams are not. They're just to test like. Yeah. They're not even to test your knowledge anymore. It's about getting a good grade.
1,000,000%.
It's not about testing what you know.
I mean, I've never used anything in my goddamn life that I've ever had to write in an exam. Genuinely.
Me neither.
And that included food tech, which, you know, I need to eat to survive. And even that was not useful. So I honestly, not guilty.
Not guilty whatsoever. If anything, that's a think smarter, not harder.
Yeah, that's a get this galley on the apprentice vibe. Because
that's life skills.
Yeah.
Which is more than you'll learn from an exam.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, my next one. So, speaking of having a website that sends dog poo to people's letterboxes and mashed potato, I actually want to do that. If you find mashed potato on our ex's lawn, it weren't us. That's all I'm going to say. Weren't us.
This isn't us admitting that we're guilty.
So when we get put in a courtroom and they play this video, what? I never knew that. What? So, on that note, right, I found out that my ex-girlfriend cheated on me with another girl, which was her ex at the time. We were long distance, so she lived in Leeds and I obviously live in Birmingham. So that was a 2.5-hour commute around an all-round trip, right? At the time, she never put any effort into our relationship at all. It would be me getting a coach, or the coach.
I get such bad
Jesus Christ, I'd rather walk it.
Get a line bike.
Yeah, get a little line bike up the M32 or whatever. Like, so I would get the coach 2.5 hours there and back every single weekend to go and see her, and not once did she ever make the effort to come down to my house until this one occasion. After I found out that she's cheated on me with her ex, I decided to send Jehovah's Witnesses to her house.
That beats the dog poo and the mashed potato.
How do you even do that? I'm going to ask them tips
on that. I need
to
know.
How do you even do that?
Because you can never get rid of them either. They
That's
just talk and talk and talk.
Oh my God, I'm messaging her about that. I need to know how you do that. I'll multitask, I'll text, and then when she gets a response, I'll say it. I'm going to put. So then anyway, after I sent Jehovah's Witnesses to our house, I got an instant message screaming and shouting saying, why my Jehovah's Witnesses? I wouldn't mind, but she's literally the most unreligious person in the world at all, doesn't believe in it at all. However, I would repeat the process and keep sending Jehovah's Witnesses to the address, where apparently different Jehovah's Witnesses kept going to this girl's address. Oh my God. So then, eventually, all of a sudden, on a random Sunday, getting ready for work, the door goes, I open the door, and lo and behold, it's my ex-girlfriend. She made the 2.5 hour drive down to. This is the thing. She would make my friend drive, like get a coach, sorry, all the way to Leeds when she could drive. All of this, honestly.
Shameful.
Right, I've just sent the message. I will keep us updated. Anyway,
I
right,
need to know, does it tell the person who sent the Jehovah's Witnesses, or is it anonymous as well?
that's what I'm
That's a
curious.
big
I mean,
decision there,
I'm
because at least the
assuming,
dog poo and the mashed potato, that's anonymous.
yeah, I'm assuming in this scenario, even if it doesn't tell, she's put two and two together and
Yeah,
found
because
out
who else would do that?
exactly. Anyway, she shows up to my house, screams in front of my face, but lo and behold, she brings the new girl to my house.
The chic of it.
Honestly, and you know what? Again, this girl was minging.
It's
This girl
always
was
the minging one.
disgusting. Honestly, she looked like Libby
This
May.
is why we're single.
Yeah, because why set off
We're
for
not mingers.
why set for beef when there could be steak out there? Clock
Exactly.
it. Put that on a B&M postcard. So it wouldn't have been so bad about the interaction if I would have just shut the door and ignored everything about it. This girl insisted on coming in and talking things through. Listen, it was a Sunday night. I was getting ready for work. What else was I going to do? I was bored and entertaining it. Clock it. I then let her come in the house and let her. She did sound like she had a girlfriend, but I mimed it. Anyway, right. Of a girlfriend come into my house where not only did they just talk about it through and through, considering she was a yam yam, she then,
Oh,
and of all people, she must have a type, this girl.
must be so
She must have a
irritating.
type. Except I wouldn't mind, except halfway through the conversation, my ex, right in front of her ex-girlfriend, starts stroking my hair, initiating, makes a pass at me and asks if we could have a threesome as they planning on opening the relationship. She says she's willing to forgive me for sending Jehovah's Witnesses to her door and that she would be very happy if we could put things behind us and that we could test that openness by having a threesome. Why leave me on a cliffhanger though, girl? Because I
What
need to know if
happened?
you did.
Did they follow through, or
Yeah, I need to know.
send them
I'm
packing?
gonna say 1,000,000% on this goddamn planet not guilty. I think that is so
That's so funny.
smart. I
We have a lot of smart girlies.
Yeah, all the girlies are smart. Do you know what? I need to know if you can send Jehovah's Witnesses to people's doors. Is that a website? Let me Google it while I'm here. But do you know what? Not guilty. Not guilty in the slightest.
No, I don't think that's guilty whatsoever. That's forward thinking,
Yeah.
innovative, and that's what we like in this day and age.
Oh my god, there is.
There's a website.
There's a contact Jehovah's Witnesses form in the UK. Request a visit. Oh my god, you can. You put their name, their gender, their full physical address, an email, and a phone number, and then that's it. Oh my god!
I'm gonna be doing that later.
I'm gonna find out where my ex lives. Oh my god, that is so funny. Yet again, smart girl, not guilty.
Not guilty whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Forward thinking. Better than mashed potato. At least it's annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Mashed potato can be quite tasty. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So can't get any benefits out of Jehovah's Witnesses coming out.
So my last one is, I once sent a drunk paragraph to my situationship at 4 a.m. telling him that I loved him, wanted us to be exclusive and that I could see us getting married one day. Spent an hour writing it and I thought it was the best message I'd ever written. The next morning I woke up and realised I'd sent it into my work group chat instead because both chats I had pinned on WhatsApp. My manager replied saying wrong chat ? And one girl reacted with a heart. I called in sick because I physically couldn't face anyone and I still think about quitting every time I walk into that office.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I would have loved to have been in that group chat. I would
One
have had
million
such fun with
percent.
that.
Do you know what I'd do as well? Even if I weren't meant to be in the office, I'd go in the office the day that she returns. I would rinse
I'm
her dead.
gonna say not guilty. That's just really unfortunate and embarrassing.
Oh, do you know what? Sorry to describe. I'm going to say guilty because why are you going back to your ex for in the first place? Drunk
No,
or
it's a
not?
situationship.
Oh, I thought you said ex.
No,
Not guilty. Not
situationship.
guilty.
I'm gonna say not guilty because that is just it's just unfortunate timing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why I now because I've done it so many times where I've sent the message to the wrong person. Luckily, it's not been anything bad.
Yeah.
But it's even like when I'm having a conversation with someone, I like my phone to be upright in case decides to
Yeah.
phone them, and I'm like, say if I'm like mid talking about somebody,
Yeah.
and then it'll ring them, and I'm thinking that's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. Honestly,
Because
I
it's done that
think
before, where I've been like talking about like mom was at work or something like that to my nan, and then it started ringing, and I didn't know she was on the phone, and I
yeah,
thought this is too. Imagine that was something else.
exactly. Wow, I on a very similar note have accidentally been in a situation where I sent something that I shouldn't have to the wrong group chat.
Okay.
The problem is it was a family group chat.
You know what? I think I'd rather it go into my work one than my family
One
one.
million
I'd
percent.
rather it be the
One
work one.
million percent. You can laugh it off with the word group chat. I could what I sent in, I could not laugh it off. So quite frankly, it was very humbling Sunday dinner that weekend, you can imagine. So I just like to clarify it weren't a nude. I just want to clarify it weren't, I don't think I needed clarifying, but I just needed to just in case someone out there thought it was. It weren't. But I did that the once and quite frankly I feel the girl's pain. But you know what? It's office banter, it's something to
Exactly. You
talk
know what?
about.
You've probably made their week. A bit of a
Exactly.
giggle. I'm gonna say not guilty.
Clock it, not guilty. Right. My final one, I think I've saved my best till last here. So, Josh, this is probably the worst thing I've ever done. However, in the same week, I slept with not only my ex's dad,
Sorry.
I slept with his ex girlfriend. So, bit of context, my friend's obviously bi. She's greedy like me. Clock it. Anyway, she's put, I was going through a bit of a rough patch with my ex. We weren't even broken up at the time. Oh, girl, that's bad. That's bad. We weren't even broken up at the time. However, we had a massive row and I was just ready to end on the relationship. You know, that point where it's over before it's over. I just didn't have the guts or the balls to tell him that he was over because we were together for 3 years at this point. We also had a holiday to Tenerife booked. Okay, now I'm starting to see your point of view. You know what I mean? Anyway, she put, I dated this boy for nearly 3 years after literally realizing that we were more on a friends basis rather than we were in a relationship. It just fizzled out and there was nothing wrong on both sides. I had the inkling that he was cheating, so I went through his phone when he was sleeping and actually found surprisingly nothing. I mean, bare minimum, really, but nowadays, surprising with some men. Anyway, the breakup itself turned to be really dramatic and got very messy afterwards because we shared the same friendship group because we were together for so long. A few weeks later, after it, I was out on a night out uptown and noticed that my ex's dad was in Spoons. This was Disco Spoons, by the
Maybe he's
way.
a dilf.
Fucking better be for what you've risked for it, love. Anyway, what I forgot to mention is that after the breakup, me and my ex were having post breakup sex a lot. Oh, girl, you're not helping yourself. I'm gonna have a stern word with this girl after this call, I'm telling you now. Anyway, a few weeks later, I found myself in Disco Spoons. For anyone who doesn't know, that's Solomon Cutler on Broad Street, where I accidentally was stood at the bar. How are you accidentally stood at a bar? Right, I'm getting sidetracked, Josh. Just focus on the
That's
story.
gonna be me now. Accidentally at
Accidentally.
the
Oh,
bar.
I'm so sorry. Four vodka Red Bulls just fell into my mouth. Sorry. Anyway, I was accidentally found myself at the bar when I turned to the right of me and saw my dad. I just said his name. Oh, whatever.
I'll bleep it.
It's fine. I saw my dad's ex there with a group of his friends. They were on a stag do at the time and going out in Birmingham. We know stag do's on Broad Street.
We do.
We've been
Everyone
around
should have
one.
seen it.
You know. Anyway, at first I thought, do I just turn around and ignore him? However, I thought, no, I'm going to be the bigger person and address this like it is. My beef isn't with his dad; it's with him. So why should I be difficult? He was part of a life. He was part of my life for 3 years, as well as my ex. We were also very close, as well as he was with my family. This was my first mistake. We then started talking, and we were in the smoking area until this man made a pass at me. Little does he know, he's still with the mom. Oh
This
my
just keeps
god.
getting
Oh
worse.
my god, it's getting worse and worse. Oh my god, I should have warned this is a long one, by the way, guys. Anyway, constant touching, inside jokes, and then ended up sitting on his lap on one of the benches. All of his friends would look at this these would look at these
Yes.
would look at this and not bat an eyelid to it. So I thought, well, if they don't care, why should I? No, I'm saying that, but
But if the
okay.
friends aren't batting an eyelid, maybe he does it more than.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, he is a man. Anyway, I tried to ignore it, but all of a sudden, my alcohol blanket was coming over and my alcohol eyes was taking over. And literally, all of a sudden, I found myself wanting to go back to his. He was saying that because he was on a stag do, his wife was on a hen do in Liverpool that weekend. So he had a free house because basically she didn't put it, but I know the situation. Her and her ex, she lived at his flat at the time. So when they broke up, she moved back in with her family. So it weren't like a shared apartment. It was his apartment, but she was just living there basically. So I found myself going back to his and sleeping with him. Before we know it, I literally didn't even catch feelings. It was literally just to get back at my ex. What can I say? His dad was a dilf and charming. So he was a dilf, to answer your question. Not in a creepy way. I just found it as if I was reconnecting with my ex. Oh, girl. Anyway, I ended up staying the night and the next morning fouled myself not even being involved in this situation. I ended up telling my ex about it because I felt like it was the only thing to do. Sometimes things are just kept private.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are
But
best
then you
kept
know what?
private.
Maybe she wanted to get there before the dad did, but I don't think the
Yeah.
dad would have.
The dad would never do that
The
because
dad,
you're
because
also
especially if he's with the
sacrificing.
mom,
Yeah,
he
you're
was never going to
sacrificing
do
a
that.
marriage and a relationship with your kid. So we weren't going to say shit. Anyway, we ended up then arguing again, and I found out that he slept with his ex again because he decided to brag about it. I know that I weren't exactly in any position to hurt him or get back at him because I literally took it to the next level with his dad. However, a few weeks later, I ended up finding myself at Slug and Lettuce in Bromsgrove, of all places, and found myself bumping into the ex. My initial response was to go over to her and initially start on the situation. However, what leg did I have to stand on? I not only got with his dad, but we were broken up, and so she had every right to sleep with him. However, the longer that we were talking about the situation, I found out that we were actually had a lot in common. He must have a type, and that we were actually getting along really well. She was saying that she was experimenting with her sexuality, and that she later that week, no, something not like that week, earlier that week, decided to get with another girl for the first time. In that moment, I thought, fuck it, why not? I'm bi, you're bi, let's just do it. I ended up going back to hers and we ended up sleeping together, except we filmed it and sent it. The story just doesn't stop getting worse. What on earth is going on in the House of Commons? Oh my God. We ended up sending a video to him of us getting together. My initial response was, oh my God, he's going to absolutely kill me. I'm being blocked. He's going to tell my family to get back at me. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Except he asked for a threesome. Why have both of my stories been about threesomes? I've got some dirty friends. Anyway, I then ended up staying the night with the girl, and to the point where we actually ended up going on a date, except it just didn't work because we didn't see each other romantically. However, little does he know I still sleep with his ex on the low and that he has no idea about it. I've got
Wow.
to say guilty. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
girl.
there was just what
I
one
love
too
you.
many things.
I love you, but that's just ridiculous.
It
Do
was
you
a
know
good
what?
story though.
Can I just say though, if the dad weren't with his
Wife.
mom, like his wife, the kid's mom, not guilty. Go for it. Get back him. All about getting back at a petty man. Because I'm friends with this girl. So he was very like not physically, but he was very emotionally abusive. Like he would. So when we first started like being friends, because we used to work together, right? He had to meet me to prove that I was gay. I was like, what do you want to do? Sleep with me to prove that I'm gay or something? Like, I was like, you fancy me? But anyway, like he had to prove that I was gay before she could meet up with me. Like he was very like emotionally abusive. He would not let her out the house. So I physically remember when she said they broke up, I was like party night out when I weren't on this night out, clearly, because I wouldn't have let that happen. If if the dad was single, go for it. And if he's a DILF, I'm gonna have to get some photos. Then absolutely go for it and get him with the ex. So what? You experimenting? Go for it, girl. Sending him a video. What do we think? Honestly, not guilty.
I'm gonna go not guilty
I think because I
because you know what? Probably enjoyed it.
yeah Do you know what?
'Cause
Like,
he's a man.
typical. Well, he asked for a threesome, so clearly did.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think because I know the backstory and I know what he was like, I'm honestly so not guilty until the only thing that's making it guilty is the fact that the dad had a wife. That's it.
Yeah.
But up until that point, get back at him because I could not
Because
stand.
realistically, you know what? No one was together other than the mom and the dad.
Exactly.
Everyone else was split up.
Yeah. But do you know what? Thanks to the story, and I'm going on a night out with this girl now.
Yep.
I'm going on a night out because I want to see. I'm going to get some photos and show you the dad and the son.
Yum.
Well, I've got the son on Instagram, I think, so I'll show you. But the dad, I'm going to show you it. Anyway, after our anonymous confessions, I think that we need to confess our song of the week, our song of the
Yes.
episode. I am going to go with She Did It Again by Tyler and Zara Larson because we've done it again.
Yep. And I'm going to go with, which I think is very fitting,
It
I
really
am
is.
going to have to go with Confessions Part 2 by Usher because
That is so
there's just
fitting.
no other song you could have
It's a
gone with that would
perfect
have been
song
more
choice, that
perfect.
is.
So stay messy, stay anonymous, and please keep sending us in your confessions as you know what, some of you clearly need professional help. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.